Welcome to the ranch. Normally, you're used to seeing us outside, take care of animals, the cows, chickens, ducks, cows, pigs. I said cows twice.
You did.
At either rate, we're not outside, obviously. Today, we're working inside, and here's why.
So along the way, during the year, we put up a lot of vegetables. We take stuff from our garden, and we even have meat from our animals that we're looking to start canning. And so with extra canning and extra storing, we are needing more room for our jars and our cans in our pantry. And our pantry has kind of outgrown us as a large family. And so in order for us as a large family to store food long-term, because we want to have more than what we've got, we want to be able to not focus on the refrigerators and freezers, because electricity isn't always our friend out in the country. And so because we want to have things that are shelf stable and we need to have a space for them, we've got to take our schoolroom closet, our office, schoolroom, spare room closet, and we're going to turn it in to a little bit of a preparation pantry, if you will. So we're going to have our long-term storage here instead of in our everyday pantry, so that we know we have a supply if something happens and we need extra. So let's take a look at what we're going to do.
So here in this closet is where the magic is going to happen. This is where we're going to add some storage and make a rather large area for all of our canned goods and dry goods. And so, without any further
ado,
I'm getting ready to start cutting some wood and building shelves. Let's make it happen.
Shelves.
Lots of shelves.
Lots
All right,
of shelves.
let's get started. What we did first was we went ahead and set our line from the bottom of this to the top of the shelf. It needs to be a certain distance based upon the jars that we're going to put in there, and the biggest jars that we have are 1/2 gallons, so we want to make sure we left enough room for that. And these brackets I decided to go with because these ones that you can buy for about $7 or $6 at Home Depot carry about the weight of 800 pounds. So that's one thing that you want to be careful about when you're building your shelf, is that the material is thick enough to carry the load, but most importantly, your brackets that you're going to use are going to carry the weight of all those jars. It's going to be a lot of jars. This is almost 7 foot long, and so we need to be mindful of what these can carry, as well as taking care of the edges so that the wood does not buckle. Once they start to buckle, the jars will start leaning towards the center. So we got everything leveled out with our laser level, and I found the studs with our stud finder. So got the first bracket in, we're just going to keep on moving along. We got our laser liner here. I'm using this board as a means to double check, make sure everything is level. It's probably overkill, but it's just the perfectionist in me. But like I said, these supports can carry about 800 pounds, I believe is what it is. And so now I'm using the edge piece that I've cut out of a piece of 2x4 to put up there. And I want to double check to make sure it's at the same height as well. But the one thing I wanted to show you was these bolts are what I'm going to use, and these are called toggle bolts. And they come in all different sizes. But this basically what happens is you put the screw through the wood, or the bolt through the wood, and then this will go behind the drywall until it gets all the way back there, and then it will expand, and then you tighten it up, and that's what pulls this nice and tight against the wall. But the reason why I'm using this opposed to just regular screws is because there's not studs where I'm putting this, number one. Number two is because these bolts are also rated to carry a certain amount of weight. So the bigger they are, the heavier duty they are, the more that they can carry. And so again, the big thing you got to take in consideration when you're putting up these shelves is the weight. You do not want this shelf to start flexing or bowing, or you're going to have to do it a second time. So you can just kind of ream the hole out, just big enough so you can get these anchors beyond the wall. That's the key. Get the anchor beyond the wall. This one's really close. I probably should have brought it out some, but I didn't. And that's okay. Okay, so Once you have them in, that's how you can check to see if it pulls back through. And if it doesn't, then you typically have it in the right spot. And so we are ready to drill it. Okay, so now that is not going anywhere. Okay, and you can still see we're lined up with our laser up here, and if we're off just a little bit, then what we can do is loosen this up. And
my
just
camera's in the
drop it
way.
down. But you can see the laser going right across the top, and what we can do is take this 2x4 and slide it right over. Now, don't forget that your 2x4 can be warped, so the best thing to do is just take your laser or your level and double check. And that's dead even. Look at that.
Yep. And you're only using that just as a countermeasure, just to make sure it's really even.
Correct.
It's level. Okay.
We're outside. We're getting ready to cut the side pieces for the shelving units. I have this piece marked, and then we'll just go ahead and cut these. The depth of the shelf is 16 inches, and the reason why is because if they do 16 inches in depth, then I'll be able to use one 4x8 sheet of plywood to make 3 shelves. So the length of the shelf is almost 7 feet. So I'm not going to use any of that other scrap down there. I will put it away for another time, but I'll be able to cut a long piece, or a short piece rather, of 7 feet, and then 2 cuts will give us what we need to have 3 shelves. Let's go ahead and start cutting. Okay, so we got one last shelf ready to be put up. I already got everything anchored, all the braces in place. So this is a project that's been ongoing for some time, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Perfect. We just finished up this project, and I didn't get it all done in one day. We could have, but I decided to add an additional shelf along the way. And so I needed to go back and get the parts. I didn't have it. Home Depot didn't have it. And so I needed to make sure that I had the same bracing so that it could carry the same amount of weight. And that's really what's important when you're building shelves like this for your canned goods, is you don't want the weight. So don't go cheap on the material, but you don't want the weight to cause it to start bowing or flexing, much like we see on the shelf up above. And this is what was built in the house. This is necessary storage, as I had mentioned. This is our schoolroom, our multi-purpose room that we're trying to utilize every square inch that we have to be able to put up food through the winter, so that we can continue to provide all that we need throughout the year. But make sure that you buy the right material. The brackets, the bracing, the wood, the bolts that you use, always check what kind of weight it can carry. You don't want to buy a bolt and then find out that the weight can only carry 25 pounds. Because when you start filling these jars up, it's going to be a lot of weight. So make sure that you pick the right parts and the right pieces of wood to do the job that you're trying to do. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this video that we did all about additional storage for preparing for what we may need through the winter, or in the case of food shortages. We're just so appreciative that you took time to watch it. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit that thumbs up. That helps our channel continue to grow. And who likes good shelves that you can store homegrown goods in? Farmers do. And who likes to pack the shelves full before I'm finished the projects?
Farmers' wives do.
She's holding the camera. So until next time, give us that thumbs up. Like I said, pass it along to other people that may like it. Until then, peace.
Okay, I'm good. Stay tuned for the outtakes. Look.
Look at what?
Look, ready? She's gonna show you. Anything you eat, right? Look, boneless pork chops. Freeze dried, ready? She's gonna like knock it on the counter.
But you're busted because we're supposed to be doing work and you're doing what?
Looking at preparation stuff. Food prep. This is for food prep. This is for preparation for look. Oh my goodness, yes, this video is so helpful.